Satuan, parintimena piaupan sama ternitalain teketlain ternak gratis. Kalau profesional erau selakulus krayo pam ukure nam masih layas internet gratis.
Those in Bucharest, you had to pay for your dormitory, which I could not afford back then. In Iași, they would give you free spaces in dormitory if you go to study there. So I had to go there because my parents didn't have money to send me to Bucharest, to stay in Bucharest. I had to go to Iași.
So your parents were in Bucharest?
No, parents were in Baku.
And they sent you to kindergarten in Bucharest?
When she was 3 years old.
No.
Yes.
So at age
Yeah.
3, you left your parents in Baku.
Exactly.
And you come to So who did you live with?
Cu cine ai locuit?
Internet copii.
With all the other children.
Like in a boarding school?
A kindergarten and dormitory.
In a dorm?
Yeah.
And you lived there for 9 years?
Câți ani? Câți ani ai stat acolo?
3 ani.
3 ani la grădiniță. 3 years until I turned 4 years in the kindergarten until I turned 7. And then another 9 years as primary and second. No. It's still in Bucharest.
In the boarding school?
What's boarding school?
There are a bunch of kids that live there and they eat their meals there and
Exactly.
they go to
Yeah.
kind of like an orphanage or
Ca un
something?
orfelinat. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly like
Orphanage technically means you don't have parents. You had
Exactly
parents.
like an orphanage. It's exactly the same.
Am fost fericită, mi-a plăcut decât acasă.
But I was happy. I was actually, I felt bad when I had to go back home. I didn't like to go home. I didn't want to go home.
Are you close to your parents?
Erai apropiată de părinți?
Nu știu.
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know.
Pe tata mai
It's just a different.
Dad, yes. Dad, mostly dad.
Probably.
My dad was great.
Adică nu pot să spun că a fost greu cu părinții, dar
It wasn't something that,
era ceva normal.
I wasn't connected to them. They weren't bad, but I just didn't.
Well, you weren't with them. You didn't spend time with them.
Nu petreceai timp cu ei, n-ai petrecut timp.
Da, exact. Dar știam de la colegi, de la grădiniță, de la școală, mulți spuneau, mi-e tort, plângeau, povesteau, eu n-aveam ce să povestesc.
But I knew from all the other children in the kindergarten and in the school, in the dormitory, they were all missing homes, they were all missing their parents. They were telling stories about what they did back home, and I was listening to them, but I didn't feel that. I had no stories to tell to them.
Și mi-aduc aminte, teneam îmbrăcat frumos, părinți făceau, puneau de mult Neculai, de mult Crăciun, eu nu știam, sincer.
I remember when they came from vacations, they came nicely dressed, nice. They were all arranged. I was not. I didn't. There was nothing else.
Did you go home? You would go.
Mergeai acasă când vacanță. Only in vacations. Trebuia, era obligată.
Obligatoriu, nu tătea nimeni acolo.
Because it was mandatory. Because if she had to choose, she would not go. But they closed the dormitories.
Mă așteptau părinți la care și eu veneam. Eram cu fratele meu, că noi eram trei.
But they would never come and pick me up. I would go there by myself, and then I had
How would
to
you
take
go
care,
there?
And I had to take care of two younger brothers that I was in charge with them. To carry.
You would take the train?
Cum? Cu trenul? Cum?
Cu tren.
Yeah, I would take the train.
Holy cow.
Îmi place să merg cu tren.
That's why I love trains so much now. I love trains.
Era distracția cea mai mare.
It was like the highlight of the trip.
To be on the
I loved it to be in the train.
So you're.
I
was looking at people.
Seeing the world.
Seeing the world, exactly. Vedeai lumea.
Da, exact.
Exactly.
Da. Și tot
I think that's why I have mentality of carrying lots of stuff. As you saw me now, I think it's a thing that it's a bad habit that I have from those times. Now I realize, like right now at this table.
So this is the book that you're reading about how to get rid of bad habits?
I have two books, but I chose this book. I have another book which is the title is Train Your Mind. And it's very thick. So I took this one first, and I'm gonna start the other one. There were no how you call it, self-help books back then.
Yeah.
To become a better person, personal development books. There were. It's impossible. It was impossible to find out. So I feel like barely now I find the time and the books to do that. Now it's the moment. I never had the chance to do that.
So I want to ask you, are you proud of your son?
I'm proud of them both. Great.
Who is your favorite? That's a trick question. Don't answer it.
I can, but for example, with you, I can tell stories. We talk. We spend a lot of time. Doreen, no, it's not that way. He's not. I don't talk that much with him.
Have I met Doreen?
I think you did.
Maybe one time.
Yeah.
So Doreen, I've told Dennis this. Doreen reminds me of Yonel, his father. Dennis reminds me of you.
Yeah. He was always very stubborn. With you, I always had to like exchange of words, of feelings, or like he was like very one way, and she's saying it's not doesn't mean it's so good or bad. I love them both equally. It's just the way he is. But he was when he was very young. He was very how you call it,
mama's boy.
Mama's boy. He was always looking for hugs, for kisses. I wasn't that way. She says. Yeah.
Okay, Maria. All of Dennis's friends in Liberty.
You say that.
Okay, think that he was probably the worst kid in the class as far as talking and active and not listening and
Prieteni mei din Liberty, de unde în orașul, ceilalți pe care îi cunosc, cred despre mine că când eram mic la școală, eram cel mai rău din clasă. Obraznic,
Erai
not really.
de la grădiniță erai activ.
You were active. You could not just say sit.
active. That's an understatement.
But he wasn't a bad guy, a kid.
Oh no, I don't mean bad as far as bad, but I mean like, Dennis, please sit down. Dennis, please focus. Dennis.
No, you would never. I had a lot of problems. You could just never stay put.
Yeah.
Never.
Oh. Yes.
He just couldn't.
All of my wife was a school teacher. Susie, Lula, Becky, they're all school teachers, and they've all said, "Oh, I bet he was a handful."
Toate prietenii, Denis când era mic, sigur, nu puteam. Au probleme cu copiii, știi, când...
But very smart,
Dar deștept.
problema. Pode tirar a lei, não.
No, he didn't cause problems, but that was his style. That was the way he was.
La tia care se tin de tot protector, la puneam. Tot timpul kau untuk ei plaksi soaka, trebuie să potolea, e mare, ca cu soaka. Apa e
Every time
eu
there
n-am
was
făcut nimic împotrivă. La tot ceva și mi se pare normal.
every time, there's this parents meeting at the high school.
Oh yeah.
School, yes.
Oh yeah.
Every time they were telling me Dennis cannot stay put. He's looking always to play. He plays all the time. And you have to teach Maria, you have to teach him stay put.
I've tried and I failed.
Yeah. And she said, well, and one part of me said, like, I didn't really care. If he wants to play, let him play.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I've let him play. Why? It's okay. It's nothing bad. If it would be something like creating problems, like a bad kid, yes. But he wasn't that way. Just
I'm guessing maybe you were somewhat bored.
I don't know. I was raised in a dormitory all my life, and studied and raised in dormitory. So I know what playing is. So I know what about that. So yeah, sure, do it.
Situarin unica cum eu am lăsat pe foaia afară, cum am putut, trebuia să perite. Dar cred că așa am și eu. Contează foarte mult de ori. Nu-i voi, nu mi se părea.
She's saying that back in the time, it just opened the door and kids go out, and you let them play. How young they are, like 6, 7, doesn't matter. They just play outside, and you know nothing about them for hours, and then they come back. And Doreen said, "Mom, how could you have done that back in the time?" And she said, "I think just because that's the way I was raised as well. I was gone from home when I was free." I was looking over the window for you, but that's it. Yeah.
Looking over the window from 4 stories up, it's like, well, I can see out there, but I can't see what's happening in the playground. Or
no, she could see down there.
Stick her
She could
head.
see it's like what's called the parking lot, where the car would park.
Okay.
Nowadays, back in the days, you see full of kids on the streets. Now you don't see a kid anymore.
Right.
Nowadays, parents don't leave their kids to play by themselves. They just stick with them like one next to each other.
Stick them in a dorm. Stick them in a dorm. Just leave them alone.
La internat. La fel ca tine. Tu la internat, capul gol.
I'm just kidding.
Glumește. It has its own magic, she's saying I felt okay. I felt I liked it. I think if I was in the family, I would have learned nothing, absolutely nothing. But being outside in that world, I've learned a lot of things.
That's really interesting. You missed the mom, dad at home and the grandparents and all like that. You missed that. But
she said she did not miss that.
No, but she did miss that. But instead, you gained being around a bunch of other kids and different settings and.
Ai lipsit de acasă, dar ai stat la păstrare cu colegi, ai învățat alte mai multe.
Am mulți prieteni și acum.
Yeah,
and it's interesting
because I have friends all over Romania right now.
And I bet if Americans, all the people that will hear this on Facebook, I'm just kidding. They would say, "Oh, bless her heart, she grew up in a dorm, in an orphanage. Oh, she didn't have her mom and dad. Oh, they'd be doing that." Instead, it's like, no, I've got friends all over the country. No, I got to ride on the train.
I'm very happy. Yeah, it opened my mind to be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atika la primeira Ceausescu kushitia.
Back in the Ceausescu time, what would you learn? What would you learn back home? Nothing. There was nothing to learn.
Mga mata.
Mom and dad said nothing. Don't do that. Nothing on TV.
Ang yang
Like,
tetam san siya tukwa.
I was just so nervous to start the school. I could not wait anymore.
You know, this sounds a lot like your son Dennis. Nervous, active, and blah blah blah.
Da. Kamasa.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's obvious.
Da. Para si main game niya pala tukwa.
My brothers, for a change, did not like school at all.
Oh,
Niya pala tukwa. Torin la te a. Niya pala tukwa.
Dorin? Dorin
was
was the same. He hated
Dorin.
school. He
Really?
never liked school. Come on, go do your homework. No, he never
At
enjoyed
tam
it.
to termine kuala kasi punang munka. Si unulit ni Martin realisyo la akademi ate polisi. Si tutor. Oh.
He hated to go to school. He was very lazy. As a mom, I could not wait for him to finish school so I can send him to work, to have a job, because he was not interested in pursuing university career, and that kind of stuff.
interesting.
And then in the very last moment, he changed his mind and wanted to become a policeman, which you have to go, a police officer, which here you have to go for university to do that. The police academy. Yeah.
Atenting.
No. We're good with time. She was ready.
I'm gonna turn this off when you're ready. This is a gift for you that I'm making. I'm serious.
Where I could kuala to ton patay torin talo. Tipereng
You like to study. You would like to
Tay
study.
mi siya minda kaya takan pa siya temeleng kumare which is a termine.
Doreen, for a change, did not like to study at all, but he was very smart by nature. He worked his way through, she said.
Sa mom.
And now I'm so proud of him.
Are you proud of Dennis?
Among toy pa. Among toy.
But I'm proud of both.
There you go.
ซึ่งก็ปีปุ่น
Good kids, good, yeah.
Good mom.
They're not stealing, they're not
jobless.
jobless, they don't take drugs, they're not,
May no business.
just regular people,
Normal.
normal.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this.
Okay?
This is great.